India and New Zealand are on the verge of large trade breakthrough as both nations have recommenced the long-suspended negotiations for a free trade agreement or an FTA. Union Trade and Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal has expressed optimism that the FTA with New Zealand would raise bilateral trade many-fold. Goyal stated, quote, India and New Zealand's proposed FTA can boost trade by 10 times in 10 years, unquote, pointing to the potential in agriculture, pharma, critical minerals, and tourism sectors. Now, his remarks came on the occasion of New Zealand Prime Minister Christopher Luxon's recent 5-day India visit, during which both the leaders decided to finalize this trade pact soon. Prime Minister Luxon declared at the India-New Zealand Economic Forum, quote, I look forward to, along with Prime Minister Narendra Modi, signing that agreement or the FTA in 60 days, unquote. Now, this action is well-timed as the global trade scenario is shifting with increasing trade tensions between the United States of America and major global economies, especially China. Meanwhile, New Delhi and Washington are in the midst of intense trade negotiations, even as the April 2nd deadline approaches for reciprocal Trump tariffs to kick in. Meanwhile, India is also making headway in FTA negotiations with the European Union as well as the United Kingdom, strengthening its global trade agenda by diversifying its own trade basket, firstly, to end any dependence on China, and secondly, to safeguard from any impact of higher US tariffs. The proposed India-New Zealand FTA aims to establish a comprehensive and mutually beneficial pact that enhances supply chain integration as well as enhancing market access. The first round of the FTA negotiations is set to begin in April 2025. At the Economic Forum, Goyal revealed his vision for a tenfold increase in bilateral economic ties. Now, India-New Zealand trade in 2023-24 was at $1.54 billion, with India's exports at 538.3 million and imports at 335.1 million, with New Delhi enjoying a marginal trade surplus. The key Indian exports to New Zealand include pharmaceuticals, machinery, textiles, and precious stones, whereas New Zealand exports wool, iron, steel, fruits, nuts, and aluminium to India. Now, for India, this FTA is another milestone in breaking the dependence on conventional markets after successful trade deals with Australia, the UAE, as well as the European Free Trade Association. Also, it will be India's second significant trade agreement in the Oceania region, increasing its presence in the larger Indo-Pacific. For New Zealand, Prime Minister Luxon views India as a high-growth market, with a goal to double New Zealand's exports in just a decade. New Zealand would appreciate tariff concessions by India on dairy, meat, and wine exports, each sector where India is a proponent of domestic production. Currently, India is capturing no more than $0.5 million worth of New Zealand's dairy imports and is not very keen on expanding raw dairy imports as well. India, on the other hand, is pushing ahead for freer movement of talent and workers and improved access for its IT and services sectors. The solution can come in an early harvest agreement where less challenging sectors are addressed first, similar to the Indian commerce deal with Australia. Outside the trade negotiations, India and New Zealand have signed a series of consequential agreements to develop cooperation in other areas of mutual interest as well. A Memorandum of Understanding or MOU in defense cooperation has also been signed with an aim to strengthen military ties between both the nations. New Zealand also officially joined the Indo-Pacific Oceans Initiative and was part of the Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure. Trade and customs facilitation was further enhanced through the signing of an Authorized Economic Operator Mutual Recognition Agreement, which will simplify trade procedures and lower the barriers to bilateral trade. The resumption of the India-New Zealand FTA negotiations is a turning point for both the economies. If it happens, it would remake their trade relationship, opening India's booming markets for New Zealand to tap into, as well as strengthening India's strategic presence in the Indo-Pacific region. Given China's aggressive naval posturing around New Zealand and Australia, it presents India a unique opportunity to boost its own geopolitical footprint in the region as a counterweight to any CCP aggression. The final agreement, however, will hinge on how far both sides, India and New Zealand, succeed in reconciling concessions on trade with home country sensitivities. But what do you believe? Does India need a free trade agreement with New Zealand? Leave a comment with your opinion, hit the like button and subscribe to Inconnect News.